Okay, hopefully you guys can see good enough. This is that Bing carburetor on the Sachs Foxi. I think this is a 12 millimeter carburetor, if I remember right. Just want to tighten that bowl up a little bit, being I had it off last night and cleaned it out. It wasn't super dirty. There was some junk in there, and I took the I don't know, I guess Musty, he calls them an emulsion tube, and took that out and kind of cleaned it up a little bit with some carb cleaner and the jet. The jet is just a little tiny thing, and I can't see, or I couldn't see a number on it. But I mean, it is a small jet. So I cleaned it up as best I could. I'm just gonna put squirt some pre-mix in here. I want to see if that float is going to leak, or that needle, the needle on it has a rubber tip, and it's hard, and with my eyes I couldn't see it if it had a ring around it. Like I've mentioned in my previous videos, when I was working on my Bobcat, I have a new air filter coming for this, because the old one was like soaked up in gas and oil. I don't know if it'd hurt, but I'm sure it's, you know, restricting. So far it looks like everything is dry. I don't have anything running out. I'll push that primer down a couple times. Nothing came out. So we may be good on that. Let me get you out of there. Get you unsaddled. Like I said, it's a Bing carburetor. Right there on top it says Bing. And there you go. And maybe you can see the number 85/12/ looks like 161A. Sorry, I can't get you any closer. If I turn the pedals, I'll turn you sideways. There you go. I can't turn the pedals because that's what's holding the bike up on the stand. If I bump the pedals, it's going to tip off there. So anyway, I'm going to cut you off for a second. I want to get that screw right there before I drop it in the rocks, and it's, you know, like every other sock in the dryer, it's gone. So I want to retrieve that, and I'll get the carburetor started on there, and I'll bring you back on. Yeah, my hands are going to be in the way. I do not have any other place to put you when I get this, ouch, slid back up on here. I'll bring you in Holy smokes. What the am I? Oh. Maybe that was the hold up. Yeah. There we go. I think that's on as far as it was, which I believe is far enough. I couldn't get it on there. I'll show you why. There's if I can get you released from the handlebars. This cable right here, that may be the rear brake cable. I had it up under there and I couldn't get it, couldn't get the carburetor slid back up on that tube. But I think, according to the dirt, if I get the focus, that's about where it was. I'm going to take a screwdriver and tighten the carb back up. So far we don't have any, where are we? There we go, sorry. So far we don't have any gas running out. Now Musty, if you guys watch Musty 1 on YouTube, he's got a pretty good video on, I think it is actually a puck like this one. And I believe it's pretty much the same motor, same carb. You can get aftermarket carbs. I think this one is like a 12 millimeter. You can kind of soup these up. I think this is like 47 cc. I'm not sure if you guys know. Go ahead and leave it in the comments. But you can change the head, and you can get a kit. It's got a new head, a bigger head, bigger piston, rings, and I think you can go to like a 15 millimeter carburetor on it to kind of soup them up there a little bit. I don't know. I guess they help. I've seen where some people say it'll pick up like 5 miles an hour. I don't know. I know nothing about these. I am going to take this cover off. There's transmission fluid in here. That's what lubricates the transmission in the lower end. Drain that out. I think you can just actually take this plug out and lean it over, but I want to take this cover off and make sure there's no sludge laying in the bottom. So I don't know if I'm going to get to that tonight. It's hotter than hell here in the shed. I can't turn the fan on because it makes too much noise. I'm going to put this, or try to put this air box cover back on. There's 2 little screws that go way back in there. The back one you can't even see. And so it's just going to be, oh, and there is that little jewel goes down in there to top it all off. That little O-ring. Does it do any good? I don't know. But we're going to try to seal it up as best we can so that, you know, it's doing its job. Anyway, that's going to be, I'm going to be 30 minutes. Yeah, I mean, unless the moon and stars and you got your toes crossed and all that, I'm going to take 30 minutes doing it. So I'm not going to record that. I'll bring you back if and when I get it done. Well, true to my word, I dropped one of them damn screws. I dropped it, I don't know, 15 times trying to get it in that back hole. Let me see if I can get you. You can't see it. Anyway, there's a hole clear back up here, back behind that tube and choke and everything else, way up in the corner. I dropped that screw a half dozen times. I found it, tried stabbing it in there again with the needle nose pliers. Luckily my cheap screwdrivers have just enough magnetism. When you get the screw back in there with the needle nose pliers, you go to stick the screwdriver in there, it will suck it right back out. But it doesn't have enough magnetism to pick the screw itself up. Anyway, I found it and lost it, found it, lost it, found it, lost it, so on and so forth. And then I lost it again. And I looked for it, couldn't find it, got the big magnet out, went around there, couldn't find it. I mean, it had to drop right there, right? So I grabbed the other screw. First stab, right in. Okay, got that one in there. So then I found the other screw, the one that I kept losing. Picked it up. I'm trying to stick it in the easy hole right there. Dropped it and lost it. That screw does not want to be part of this little scooter. I'll find it right after I find a replacement for it. That's when I'll find it. Anyway, here's that air filter. It's pretty. The gas that was in it and soaked, it just turned that rubber into sponge, and I thought it was caulked in there, but it's pretty heavy. It's pretty soaked up with crap. I mean, it's got more gas and oil in it than it does dirt, but I got a new filter on the way. It'll be here sometime this week. Here's the cover. I'm going to take it outside and spray it out with carb cleaner. It's just a plastic cover, and then there's a band that snaps around there up on this little ear, and then there's one down below, kind of like the band on a master cylinder on your car for, you know, your brakes. Similar to that. It's laying over here with the cover. Anyway, I'm going to wash this out, and I think that's going to be the end of the video for today. I'll add to it next time I get a chance to work on this thing. So with that, happy trails for now. I found it. It was laying right back down through that hole. How you doing, buddy? You just got done exploring and went out and came back in? You smell old varnishy gas, don't you? Yeah. Those that you don't know, that's our indoor-outdoor cat. That's Cornbread. He's a big old cat, but he thinks he's a kitten. So there's your B-roll for right now. I got the scope camera out. We're going to run it down in there and see what it looks like on the inside of the tank. And just from the smell of it, it doesn't smell good. When I pulled the fuel line off down there and lifted the back of the bike up, water came out. So let's stick the camera down there and see what we can find. Okay, We got the camera on. Oh, I see rust down in there. That looks like the pickup tube for the main tank. Where was it? Yeah, there's some rust in there. Probably gonna have to go to the dollar store and get some vinegar. I'm not sure. I hear cornbread back there behind me, digging around looking for mice. I think I'm hitting the bottom. Okay. Well, yeah, there's the screen. It looks pretty clean except for right at the top. That's when you have the gas on, and then when the gas gets down below that, then you switch it over to reserve. But the bottom of the tank actually doesn't look too awfully bad. I'd kind of like to see a little bit. There is some rust in there, but actually it's not bad. Yeah, oh shit, I must have set it on record. And then I don't know what I'm doing with this. Matthew got me this camera. It's a Sky Basic, and he said it wasn't very expensive. And let me show it to you. It's not a, Matthew said it wasn't a very expensive one, but I sure like it. The only thing I don't like about it is this big long cable. I don't think it's interchangeable, and I guess I'd rather have a cable that's too long than not long enough. But I mean, hell, if you're looking up a sewer pipe or something like that, I guess it's fine. It does have different ends you can put on it. There's one with a mirror for looking 90 degrees. It isn't worth a shit. That one you just will take and throw away. I think there's a little magnet end for it. Different things. You just unscrew the little cap there and screw the little different doodads on it. But like I say, the little mirrored one, it ain't worth a shit. I don't know if the mirror's not pointed right, but there's no changing it. Anyway, back to this. I don't know if you can read right there, mix 50 to 1, I think it is. Yeah, mix 50 to 1. So I got some steel for the chainsaw. It's 50 to 1. I'll use that. I don't know if I don't think I'm gonna do any cleaning in there. It's pretty clean. I'm gonna put some gas in it, hook the gas line back up to the carburetor. They'll put some gas / mix in it and kick it over. I think first let's jack it back up. I got it on a lawnmower lift and it fits good. I mean, the pins aren't locked in the ends down there. See there? The pins aren't in the holes because it's spread out further than what it's actually made for, but this bike ain't that heavy. I'm going to jack it back up, and I want to pull that side cover off right there, and let's see what the transmission fluid looks like. I believe that's supposed to be ATF in there, and I want to drain that, make sure there's no sludge and water in there. So let's get it jacked up and I'll pull that off. No big deal. I mean, what is it? 5 screws. This is the one that I think you fill it to that mark. That's the check mark also. But I want to pull that off and drain that and make sure there's no sludge in there. So I'll bring you back when I get it jacked up and get ready to pull that off. Okay, something I discovered, this plug right here is it's the only thing tight on this cover. All these other screws are loose. So I'm going to put a paper towel down here, so if I drop a screw, which is bound to happen, it's not as apt to bounce, maybe. But matter of fact, I think I'll just put the screws right on that paper towel so they can't fall any further, right? Yeah, this plastic plug, the check plug there, that's the only thing that's tight. And it's so tight that I'm worried about really all of them are pretty well chewed up already. So that tells me somebody else has been in here who knows how many times. I watched a video last night. I think the young man's channel is Too Vintage or something like that. He works on 4-wheelers, snowmobiles, motorcycles, 3-wheelers, all kinds of stuff. And he found a German moped type deal, but it is German made, and I guess they're pretty rare. I've never seen or heard of one before. It's called, damn it, it's called a Grand, and it looked like an old Indian motorcycle. It was really cool. He did get it going. He was fortunate. I think he had to sand the points and stuff. Let me see if I can get this plate. There's the inside of that plate. Looks like transmission fluid. Looks a little brownish or burnt, whatever. But anyway, he got it running, and it sounded like it ran pretty good. I mean, it didn't sound like a super powerful thing, but he took it for a drive. It had a 2-speed, almost like shifting a bicycle with the hand grip deal. And let me see if I can get this light in there without disturbing you guys. But it sounded like the clutch in it was slipping. Oh yeah. Transmission fluid in there. I wouldn't say it's really burnt, but let me get you guys up in here. wouldn't say it's really burnt. It's dark. It possibly the original stuff, but I'm guessing that's the clutch pack right behind that screw and that vertical bar. Kind of looks like a clutch pack deal. Anyway, I'm going to lean this over and maybe pick up the back wheel there a little bit and hopefully try to keep it balanced and drain that crap out, and we'll put in some fresh ATF. I'll bring you back. Okay, we got her dumped out. I leaned her over and held it for a while. There's not much left in there. I don't think it's even worth sticking a paper towel in there and getting towel fluff into. But I made up what I call a mechanic's bedpan. Damn it, if I can get my light to, hang on a second, get my light to quit flexing on me. But it's pretty dirty. I mean, there was a little bit of motor oil in there. I didn't see any water come out of this when I dumped it, but it is dirty. So I'm glad that I did lift it up and drain what little bit was in there. But like I said, it looks all wispy and stuff, you know, on the edges. But that's because there was, like I said, some clean motor oil was left in there. But I'm thinking that looks pretty clean in there. So I think I'll put that side cover back on, wipe it off, because down at the bottom, you see there, it's kind of wet and like it ain't sealed up or something. I thought maybe that was a fill screw on top right there, but apparently it's not. It must be some type of an adjustment. So I'm not going to mess with that. Everything I've seen, let me get the light clamp back up here. I'm trying to, everything I've seen on the cover there, that's the fill and the check plug. It's kind of like the rear end of a car. You pour fluid in there until it starts running back out. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna clean this off, screw that back on. You guys watch me take it off, so there's no sense in, I mean, it's just reverse of what I did. Hopefully it'll seal up. If it doesn't, I'll put a little film of black RTV on it, but for now we're going to stick it on there. I got to try to get that plug out without breaking it or stripping it out, and fill this back up with some ATF. Alrighty, I'll tell you what, folks, getting that plug out, that was a son of a gun. I laid that faceplate, this whole thing, before I put it back on, down on my lap. Got old Luther there and wedged it in, and it took both hands. And you can see it was binged up before, but I didn't help it any. And like I said, these, you can see those have been off before. I got those snugged up. They're not super tight, but they are snugged up, and I filled it up with ATF. Just like I've seen in other videos, I do not have a book. Everybody just fills it up with ATF till it runs out here, and I let it settle for a minute, because I believe it goes clear back into this portion. And let it settle for a minute. Squirted a little bit more in there until it ran out. So I believe we're full. I think I got the gas line hooked back up. I think I'm gonna set it down, get the tools off of it. We'll pour a little bit of gas in the tank The gas is on, and I'll pour a little gas in the tank. We'll see if anything runs out the back of the air cleaner here. The air cleaner isn't here yet, so but we'll start it and see what happens. Well, friends and neighbors, we're going to wrap this one up. The only issue I have is I don't have any small hose clamps, and that hose is kind of stretched out and soft right there at the petcock, so it leaks. I tried wrapping some wire around it, but it don't help. So we'll give this thing a start, turn the gas on and let her leak a bit, because it will leak. It does. Turn the switch to on, pull the compression release up, get the pedal up here, and she's running. I'll get you turned around here and give you a quick run with it. Yep, she died on me. That's all right. Whoop, I'll get you. Hang on. Yeah, I lost you. I'm trying to get you propped up. I don't have my holder. There we go. Just in time. I just ran out of gas. So there you go, folks. Little Sachs Foxi. I think the grandkids are gonna have a good time with it. Happy trails.